Hello, my name is Stephen Upton, and this short film is about the heroic stand of the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry on the Frezenburg Ridge on the 8th of May 1915. The location is situated just north of the Menin Road, marked with the arrow, and south of what today is a road, but in 1915 was a railway line. Our takeoff location is indicated there with an arrow at the site of the present-day memorial to this event. On the 22nd of April 1915, the Germans launched their first offensive of the year with the intention of capturing Ypres, and this has since become known as the Second Battle of Ypres. What makes this battle so infamous is it was the first use of gas on the Western Front. On the 8th of May, the Germans renewed their offensive in this particular area with the intention of capturing the Frezenburg Ridge. And you can see from the arrow now where the Canadians were situated when the attack was commenced. This trench map is dated from December 1915, and the red arrow shows the Canadians' position on the 8th of May. Just going to take a closer look at this area now so we can see how the German front line first progressed to the west, then after a British counterattack known as the Battle of Bellewaerde Ridge in June pushed them back to these final positions, and this is where the front line then stayed more or less for the next 2 years. The engagement on the 8th of May with the Canadians is at that point marked with the arrow, and after the Germans managed to break through, they pushed the defenders all the way back to the edge of Y Wood. Then on the 15th of June, an offensive was launched by the British to capture Bellewaerde Ridge and push the Germans back to those final positions. This is the original memorial, but in 2015 it had a renovation and now looks like this. A plaque on the memorial states, "Here, on the 8th of May 1915, the originals of the PPCLI, commanded by their founder, Major A. Hamilton Galt, DSO, held firm. Counted not the cost." This memorial stands on the very spot of the Canadians' defence. They were defending what's called the Frezenburg Ridge, and you'd think it was some kind of commanding heights over the surrounding land. But when we take to the air and look, we're now actually looking along the front line towards the Menin Road direction and in the direction of Shrewsbury Forest. And as we pan round to the right towards Hooge, and you'll see Bellewaerde Lake shortly. But this is actually the height of the ridge. As we pan to the right, take note of how wet the ground is. This is January 2020. And the water table here is just below the surface. Through those trees now you can just make out Bellewaerde Lake. And we're panning around towards the direction of Ypres. You see the land slopes away a little bit, goes to a rise, and we can now see in the distance Railway Wood. The German offensive of the 8th of May pushed the British back to just beyond there, right to the edge, the bottom edge of Railway Wood, and also to the edge of Y Wood. So you can see how much land, it was a little bit further than what you can see there. On the right now you can see a road with the traffic moving along it. In 1915 that was the Ypres Rulers Railway line. We've now swung round through 180 degrees and we're looking the opposite direction towards where the gas attack was in April, and that was at Gravenstaffel, and that's where the Canadians stood their ground as well. But look at the lie of the land now. It gently slopes down there. It's quite a shallow incline, but this was called a ridge. In a land where every field is flat, holding a prominent piece of land like this was very important. We're now looking directly towards the direction the Germans attacked from. But as you can see, it's quite wide open, and in those days it was fields very similar. The Canadian stand on the 8th of May on the Frezenburg Ridge is commemorated in this painting. In the middle, you can see Lieutenant Hugh Niven rallying the troops to hold fast against wave upon wave of German infantry assaulting them. Everybody, including the clerks and battalion headquarters staff, were brought forward to help defend their position. And that is one of the reasons why so many were killed, wounded, or simply went missing in action. Why out of 546 men that went into the line, only 150 of them were still available a couple of days later. We're coming to the end of our short film now. I hope you've enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This film is dedicated to the memory of all those who have served in the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry. We will remember them.